She announced it right after the appetizers were served. I've been cheating. I'm in love with someone else, and I want a divorce. The restaurant was high-end, the kind of place where you can hear the faint clinking of silverware and soft jazz. But at our table, the world just stopped. I didn't flinch. I didn't drop my fork. I simply took a slow, deliberate sip of my wine, looked her straight in the eyes, and said, I know. And honestly, Andrea, I've been waiting for you to find the courage to say it. Last Thursday was supposed to be our 7th anniversary together, 5 of those married. I'd made reservations at this upscale Italian place weeks in advance. But then, Andrea started acting strange. She insisted on turning our romantic evening into a double date. She invited her work friend, Blake, 32, and his fiancée, Melissa, 29. She claimed it would be less pressure and more fun as a group. I knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted an audience. She wanted Blake to be there to witness her supposed bravery, so he could whisk her away the moment she officially ended things with me. She wanted the drama, the spectacle, and the feeling of being the hero in her own twisted romance novel. But I had a massive head start. See, I had known about the affair for exactly 11 days. It started with a stupid mistake on her part. She left her iPad on the kitchen counter, unlocked and logged into her messages. While I was working from home, a notification popped up on the screen, I'm counting down the minutes until I can have you to myself again. It was from Blake. I felt like I'd been kicked in the chest. My first instinct was to scream, to confront her the second she walked through the door. But I forced myself to stay calm. I spent the next 3 hours scrolling through 3 months of history. Explicit photos, videos, and, the worst part, their shared financial strategy. They weren't just sleeping together, they were waiting for Andrea to get her annual corporate bonus next month. They had it all figured out, use my stability, my house, and my income until the last possible second, then take the bonus and run together. They even joked about how I would probably pay for their first month's rent without knowing it. I didn't cry. I didn't throw things. I went into cold, calculated survival mode. First, I quietly consulted a top-tier divorce lawyer. I learned that in our state, while adultery doesn't change the 50-50 split of assets, it acts as a total shield against alimony. If she cheated, she got zero support. Next, I handled the money. In our joint account, we had $46,000. Legally, I was allowed to withdraw up to half without her consent. So, I moved exactly $23,000, my precise half, into a brand new account at a bank she didn't even know existed. I didn't stop there. I canceled my name from all our shared streaming services. I changed my direct deposit so my salary would never touch our joint account again. I removed her as the beneficiary of my life insurance and my retirement fund. And the best part? Her car insurance was due for renewal. I simply let it lapse. I documented everything, every text, every photo, every disgusting joke they made at my expense, and saved it to 3 different secure locations. Back at the restaurant, the atmosphere was suffocating. Blake was sitting across from me, trying to look sympathetic but failing to hide a smug grin. Melissa, his fiancée, looked visibly uncomfortable, probably sensing the weird energy. Andrea was practically glowing. She kept accidentally brushing Blake's arm while laughing at his mediocre jokes. She was so convinced she was in control. Halfway through the appetizers, she put down her fork and cleared her throat. I have something to tell you, she said, looking proud of herself. I've been having an affair. I'm in love with someone else. I want a divorce. The table went silent. Melissa's eyes went wide, staring at Blake. He turned pale, clearly not expecting Andrea to do it right at that moment. I know, I said calmly. Andrea blinked, looking confused. You, what? I've known for 11 days, I continued. Since you left your iPad open to Blake's messages about how clueless I am. I've seen the photos, Blake. I've seen the videos. I know all about your little plan to wait for the bonus. I also know about the Henderson project you said you were working on late at night. Funny thing is, I called your office. That project was cancelled 3 months ago. Blake tried to speak, but I held up my hand. By the way, Blake, does Melissa know you've been using her condo to sleep with my wife for 3 months? Does she know you've been lying to her while she's been busy picking out flowers for your wedding? Melissa's gasp was truly Oscar-worthy. Wedding? Andrea's voice cracked. You're engaged. The look on Andrea's face was pure gold. Shock. Betrayal. The irony was so thick you could cut it with a steak knife. Turns out, Blake told Andrea he was single and searching for a soulmate. He was playing both of them. Melissa stood up so fast her chair fell over. She grabbed her glass of red wine and threw it directly into Blake's face. Don't you ever come back to my house. I'm changing the locks tonight, she screamed before storming out. Blake scrambled after her, leaving Andrea and me alone. Andrea started to cry. How could you do this to me in front of them? This is cruel. Cruel. I laughed. Cruel is sleeping with another man while I'm at home working to pay our bills. Cruel is planning to blindside me only after you got your bonus. I just returned the favor with better timing. Oh, and by the way, I'd check your car insurance. It expired yesterday. And I've already moved my half of the money. You're on your own, Andrea. Good luck with the bonus. I've already alerted your HR department about your personal use of company time during that fake project. It's been a week, and the levels of entitlement have reached astronomical levels. The morning after the dinner, Andrea tried to drain our joint account, only to find exactly half left. She called me 60 times, screaming that I'd stolen her future. I need that money. Blake and I were going to get an apartment, she yelled. Blake is broke, isn't he? I asked. Silence. It turns out Blake's successful marketing career was a total fabrication. He was a failing influencer with 15,000 followers and 0 sponsors, living entirely off Melissa's salary. Melissa owned the condo. Melissa paid the car notes. Without her, Blake had nothing. He was just a parasite looking for a new host. On day 3, Andrea showed up at my office with her mother, Gloria. Gloria tried to bulldoze me, marching up to my desk in front of all my coworkers. You're going to fix this right now, she demanded. My daughter made a mistake, she's sorry. You can't just throw her out like trash. She threw herself out, Gloria, I replied. Andrea was fake crying in the background, talking about how she had no place to go. Where's Blake? I asked. He's staying at a motel, she sobbed. Melissa won't let him in, and his own mother won't take him back because he owes her $12,000. Andrea tried one last tactic. She posted a long, tearful victim story on social media, claiming I was financially abusing her and had abandoned her without warning. She forgot one thing, I had the receipts. I responded with one simple comment, Interesting perspective from someone who cheated for 3 months while planning to leave after securing their annual bonus. Want me to post the screenshots of you calling our marriage a financial safety net? Her narrative crumbled instantly. Melissa joined in, posting, maybe mention you were sleeping with my fiancé in my bed while we planned our wedding? You both deserve each other's misery. Andrea deleted her entire social media presence within an hour. But the best part? Blake tried to save himself by throwing Andrea under the bus. He sent Melissa dozens of messages saying Andrea seduced him, that she was obsessed with him, and that he was just trying to let her down easy. Melissa forwarded everything to me, and I, of course, forwarded it to Andrea. The rage texts I got from her after that were pure poetry. She finally realized the man she loved didn't give a damn about her. He was already looking for his next victim. My lawyer laughed at her alimony demand. In our state, adultery is a full-time job that pays $0 in spousal support. She's currently living in a cramped studio apartment, working overtime just to cover her basic bills. She lost the house, she lost the money, and she lost her dignity. So here I am. Sitting in my new apartment, looking at her increasingly desperate texts asking for, just a few $100s for groceries. I don't respond. I just block the number and pour myself another glass of wine. I feel nothing but peace. It turns out, living well isn't just the best revenge, it's the only one that matters.